No, they was just on some weird shit. So like everybody did an official weigh-in, they wouldn't let me do an official weigh-in. So then they had to weigh in here and they made me keep on certain stuff. So it's just a lot of weird stuff going on.
It was a dog move you did. Now it's how insulted you are or how triggered you are, how you're going to react to that. Are you going to let a man mug you off, call you a dog to your face? How are you going to react? Are you going to come back with some facts? Are you going to come back with violence? You don't know. So I want to see how that.
And Atama sort of like put a half jab right hand in, southpaw, so it was a jab, and just sort of knocked him over. Steve Gray, the referee, was just a split second too late. Not his fault. He saw what was happening. He jumped in to stop the fight, and it was gone. Jermaine Franklin took that uppercut. It just totally took his soul. He was gone. He was out on his feet. Don't know how he didn't fall over. And Atama just put a little jab into him, a little stiff jab, knocked him over, face first.
I feel like I got a little bit away from the coach's game plan. I got caught with a punch. I got dropped. I feel like I could have got up with it. They stopped the fight.
It was an amazing performance. You know, he done what nobody else has been able to do to Jermaine. And you think about 4 years ago, two-time world champion, AJ couldn't do it. Dillian White 4 years ago couldn't do it. You know, he's got a tremendous chin, as you see. He took some really big shots, but he was very patient. He worked hard and broke him down. And when he got the opportunity to catch him clean, those two shots were phenomenal.
No, I actually thought he'd do more, honestly. I thought he'd come out more aggressive. I thought he'd come out trying to do more in the earlier round. So I probably sat back a little bit too much, waiting for him to be more aggressive than what he was.
In Franklin's response to getting stopped, I was in the ring obviously after, and his team were livid about the stoppage, and I guess that's because they've never seen him get stopped before. And I was like, guys, I even went over to one of his camp, and I was like, when you watch it back, you'll know it was a very good stoppage. Like Steve Gray,
It was Jermaine's a crafty operator, but he got that stoppage. That was a great stoppage.
A lot of people are saying Moses, he started to blow a little bit. Did you see that he was maybe tiring, or did you feel like there was a consistency of intensity in his fight?
It's a fight. He found the shots. What can I say? Great.
Palmer sort of like put a half jab right hand in, his southpaw, so it was a jab, and just sort of knocked him over. Steve Gray, the referee, was just a split second too late. Not his fault. He saw what was happening. He jumped in to stop the fight, and it was gone. Jermaine Franklin took that uppercut. It just totally took his soul. He was gone. He was out on his feet. Don't know how he didn't fall over. And Atama just put a little jab into him, a little stiff jab, knocked him over, face first. He was gone out cold. And what a fantastic knockout and stoppage against somebody who's never been.
I don't know how that happens. He was clearly not fit to fight anymore, and it was going to get worse. I just don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. So that could have just been sour grapes, talking about the referee stopped it too early. But Moses Atama, what a performance. I can't say enough about how excited I am for this kid, and he's got the world in the palm of.
Jermaine Franklin just admitted he threw a fight for money, and the boxing world is losing its mind over this confession.
We could see how it was, unless he seen or looked up and seen the ref wave it off, and he just kind of laid there for a while. But he said, well, I felt I could get up, but they stopped the fight. I don't know if that's the case. I can't rock with that. I don't know if he intentionally lied or whatever, maybe.
Franklin didn't just lose to Moses Atama. He straight up said he took cash to dive. This isn't some conspiracy theory anymore. The man admitted it himself.
Look, he's tough. We know who he was in with. A tough guy, never been stopped. 4 years ago, AJ couldn't stop him. Dillian, 4 years ago, couldn't stop him. He was very patient. He took some really good shots. And you can see him a couple of times loading up to throw that right hand. He boxes well. He's got a good boxing brain. He does his work, gets out, and then comes back. He's back on you. But the shots were brilliant. Those two shots. He knocked him out with the first one, and the second caught him with another hard shot going down. Face down, and the corner is screaming that it shouldn't have been stopped.
Here's what's wild about this whole situation. Franklin claimed Moses was nothing compared to him, said he could have beaten him easily, but then took the payday instead.
I think he's got the ability to be a generational great, I really do. I haven't been this excited about a heavyweight in a long time. I mean, I grew up with Mike Tyson, and of course he just brought something thrilling to the heavyweight division. Yeah, we've had Lennox Lewis, who I think is our greatest heavyweight, obviously Tyson Fury, AJ, David Haye, and many others. But there's something about this guy.
Daniel Dubois is calling out the madness of it all. Franklin's own words prove the stoppage wasn't about Moses' skill. It was about Franklin sabotaging his own fight for money.
Yeah, same way that we all kind of saw and expected. He's a fantastic young fighter with great punch power, great punch selection and timing. So he eventually got the shot off.
He was looking for the rounds, and Jermaine Franklin gave him some good rounds in there. Did you feel like, that was the right level of opponent that he needed for his career?
The guy's very cute, very clever, blocked well, slipped well, got up from the first knockdown. He gave him everything that he could, and Moses was just a bit too...
The boxing community is in absolute shock right now. This wasn't about one fighter being better than the other. This was pure corruption happening right in front of our eyes.
Tonight it was all about answering some questions, right? Did he really answer any? I don't know. I don't know. We got to see him go beyond 2 rounds, which was a bit different to recent fights. It extended to the 5th, and yeah, maybe he was tired at one point. I don't know. He didn't look tired when he knocked him out, did he? I mean, I think it was just a flawless performance from Moses Itauma, and he sent Jermaine Franklin packing, really. I mean, I saw Franklin was complaining afterwards as well, in the corner were complaining.
But here's where it gets even crazier. What looked like Franklin getting tired or hesitant, that was all deliberate. Every moment of that fight was scripted by Franklin himself.
With it again, when we said Jermaine Franklin would be able to bring rounds, we didn't say that because of the walking punch bag. No walking punch bag is going to go rounds with Moses Itauma. We said that because of his quality, and that's what people was missing. Maybe it was the way that we was articulating it, but he's a very, very good fighter. But that's nothing that we see that week in, week out, day in, day out at the gym, so we know what he's capable of.
Now contrast that with what actually happened in the ring. Frank Warren praised Franklin's durability against elite power, but Moses Itauma's precision was just too much to handle.
What we need to know, listen, he got more rounds in than what we've seen him in previous fights. He hasn't been past 2 rounds for a number of fights now. So we see him go into round 5, which was good. We see him get hit with some shots, which was good. There was more ambition from Jermaine Franklin than I was expecting, but there was also more durability than I was expecting as well. The execution, the finish.
Adam Smith is comparing Moses to legends like Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis. The kid combines power, skill, and ring IQ that puts him above most heavyweights today.
I think Moses just has so many more skills, tools in his toolbox, so much more diversity in the way he's going to go about things. That plus a game plan and putting his punches together, combinations. It's going to be a multitude. It's not going to be one punch bang. It's going to be a multitude of up, down, picking this shot, picking that shot, just a barrage on top. And I think the ref will step in.
Lawrence Oakley broke down how Franklin did everything right technically, but Moses' timing and pressure were overwhelming. The young heavyweight showed maturity beyond his years.
Nah, man, I'm appreciative. I've been in camp for 14 weeks, so I prepared very diligently for him. And I know everybody was saying that I'm gonna knock him out, but I can't believe that. I can't believe into the hype. I can't feed into it. I trained hard. I prepared for him diligently, and I got the knockout I trained for, not what I deserve, but what.
Dev Sahani highlighted Moses' flawless execution, going past 2 rounds for the first time. Every strike was calculated. This wasn't just raw power. This was technical brilliance.
It's what he does when he's not punching. It's what he does when Franklin punches. Franklin feints, he throws the jab, throws the time mistake in the step or 2 out of distance. He's bouncing out of distance and back in. It's very hard to do his heavyweight over 10 rounds to really expand that kind of...
Ben Davison confirmed Moses' dominance was no accident. The preparation, skill, and tactical execution were perfect. Moses proved he belongs at the top level of the heavyweight division. Spencer Oliver pointed out Moses' impressive endurance and mental toughness. Even against Franklin's ambition, Moses stayed composed and delivered a clinical finish that left everyone speechless. So here's what we're looking at. Franklin's confession exposes corruption at the highest levels of boxing. Meanwhile, Moses Itauma is being hailed as the next generational talent. The contrast couldn't be more stark. One fighter throwing fights for cash, another earning respect through pure skill and dedication. What do you think this means for boxing's integrity? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if this breakdown opened your eyes, and subscribe because this story is far from over. But wait, there's something even more disturbing about Franklin's admission that nobody's talking about. This confession doesn't just expose one corrupt fight. It opens the floodgates to question every single one of his previous performances. Think about it. If Franklin was willing to throw this fight, how many others did he sabotage? His entire career record is now under a microscope. Fans are going back through his fight history with a magnifying glass, analyzing every questionable moment. The ripple effects are absolutely insane. Promoters who worked with Franklin are scrambling to distance themselves. Betting companies are reviewing suspicious wagering patterns on his fights. This could trigger the biggest investigation boxing has seen in decades. Meanwhile, Moses Atama is caught in the crossfire of this mess. His legitimate victory is being overshadowed by Franklin's corruption confession. The kid earned his win through skill and preparation, but now people are questioning if it was handed to him on a silver platter. Here's the thing that's really grinding my gears. Moses doesn't deserve this cloud hanging over his breakthrough moment. The technical breakdowns from experts prove his dominance was real. His combinations, footwork, and ring generalship were textbook perfect. But Franklin's confession is creating a narrative that's completely unfair to Moses. Social media is exploding with debates about whether this victory counts. Some fans are calling it tainted, even though Moses had no knowledge of any arrangement. The heavyweight division is now dealing with a credibility crisis. If fighters are willing to throw matches for quick cash, how can fans trust what they're watching? The sport's integrity is hanging by a thread right now. Boxing commissions worldwide are being forced to respond. Enhanced drug testing was just the beginning. Now we need financial audits, communication monitoring, and stricter penalties for fight fixing. The whole system needs an overhaul. What makes this even more tragic is the timing. Boxing was finally gaining mainstream momentum again. Big fights were drawing massive audiences. Pay-per-view numbers were climbing. Then Franklin drops this bombshell and potentially sets the sport back years.